Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. Today I'm going to be working on this $12 juniper. It is a Tamarix Juniper. There was only one of these plants on sale for $12, so I didn't have a choice. I couldn't select, one with an interesting trunk or anything. And I haven't really looked at the interior of this tree. I just saw it for $12 and said, all right, I'll see what I can make out of it. So today we'll both be kind of looking at it for the first time. I'm going to start by lifting the tree out of the pot. That'll give me a view of the trunk and the root base, and then I can make better decisions on styling the tree. All right, here I go. I'm going to try tipping the pot sideways, kind of loosening it up, squeezing the pot. This is a plastic pot. And then I'll try and grip the tree and pull it out. There it comes. And typically what we do is we turn the pot upside down like that, and you put the tree on top of it like that. For this video, putting the tree on top of the pot makes it too high, so you can't get the black background behind it. So I'll lower it down and onto the turntable. I can see a few roots in the soil here, and they look really healthy. They've got nice white tips, a good color to them. I don't smell anything funny. There's no rot or anything in the root base, so those are all good signs that the tree is nice and healthy. I won't be doing a full repot on this tree. All I'll be doing is scraping away the surface soil so I can see the trunk and the start of the root flare. The full repot will come in spring. All right, here I go, starting to the raking out of the surface. There's a stick in here. I don't know what that was, from a weed. I think it's a root or something that grew up there. Strange. I'll get rid of all these weeds too. Quite hard to see in here. It's, there's a lot of low branches. So it certainly helps to rake away some of the soil here. Well, it's got a good trunk. That's nice. I don't know what this tree will look like in the end, if it's suitable for turning into a bonsai or what, but we'll find out today if it has any potential. If not, you can always put it in the garden. I'm having my first look at the tree now, and one thing I notice is the trunk goes down into the soil, but there's a lot of aerial roots that have grown because it was buried quite deeply in the pot. So I've got to prune those away and kind of expose the trunk. I don't want aerial roots on a juniper. So here I go. I'll just start pruning away. Trying to find where the actual root base of the tree starts. There's a dead branch in here I can prune away. Anything you can get rid of to, make it easier to see what's going on with the tree is a bonus. So let me get some of these aerial roots away. Prune off all these roots sticking up out of the soil too. That'll make it easier to see. Aerial roots look great on a ficus, but not so much on a juniper. I'll get my comb in there and see if I can comb away a little more soil. I'm going to use an old toothbrush to help me clean off the trunk and see what's going on with these roots. Looking more like a trunk now. So it definitely has a trunk. You can see it from this view. But I haven't discovered how deep it goes into the soil. So more combing is in order. It's still fairly firm in the pot, so there must be more roots in it. These might still be aerial roots up here. Well, the trunk seems to still be going down, so I'm going to prune away these
roots up here, because it's definitely, the thick part of the trunk is still going down into the soil. So I don't think we found the true root base yet. Boy, if I go any deeper, I might end up doing a full repot today. Okay, I'm going to have to start cutting away these roots up here. They're just way too high, and there's good trunk down below. So here I go. I think this is the base of the tree, because you can see it wiggling there. I don't think there's any firm trunk any lower. I'm going to feel in with my finger here. No, this is the base of the tree. So this is the true root base down here.
I'm getting closer to the point where I can pick the front of the tree. First, I'm going to clean out some of this debris in here, all the dead branches and foliage that's fallen down, so I can get a clear view of all the branch structure in here. I'm not removing any of live material like branches and that, just the dead stuff. This is usually where insects overwinter, in all these areas where the debris collects. Makes a nice little warm home for them. So it's a good idea to clean it out. My initial thoughts on this tree: I'm really happy with the trunk. I didn't expect it to be so tall, so I'm really happy with that. It has nice movement and taper to it. It's got some good strong branches on the tree. So I'm quite excited. I think it is worth $12. All right, let me have a look, and I'll try and pick the front of the tree. So here you see some nice movement to the right, a nice thick trunk off there. It divides. It's quite nice, actually. The opposite view, you still see that nice branch coming to the left, but it has a big thick back branch that comes towards you. So the front of the tree would have to be it could be here, you know, having this thick trunk coming kind of upright and forward. There's a lot of branches coming this way. It depends if I want to make this the main feature of the tree, the trunk line, or if I want to make the other thick branch here. I don't know if you can see it. This one here, the trunk line. This one goes quite horizontal, whereas this one starts to reach upwards, which is kind of nice. So I'm leaning towards this one. Now this one does curve away from you, so this is the leader of it. So it kind of goes back towards the tree, so it could be replaced with a branch here, coming kind of forward or more, you know, in this plane. So I like this branch the way it divides into two, but there's a third branch that comes off here, and it comes up crossing this trunk line. So I'm going to remove that. I just don't like that branch. So that'll be my starting point. Kind of getting rid of things that just don't look good at all. So I don't know if I can cut it with these scissors, but I'll try. There it goes. So now it divides from 1 to 2 here, and it looks much better. There's a branch up here that I've got to decide about. You get these nice flowing lines of these two trunks here, and then this one kind of sort of flows at the base, and then it kind of shoots skyward. I'm going to prune the top off for now. It's too long and tall, so I'll come in here, take the top off, and the whole branch may be removed eventually, but for now I'm just going to keep it a living branch and until I kind of lock down the front view and the final design. There's a lot to take in here. On this branch here, there's a vertical one coming up here that just
doesn't flow with anything, that can come off. So I'm just kind of taking obvious stuff off now that just, you know, is unusable. Very interesting. So this trunk line here, you know, it curves up and then it shoots straight upwards and it comes all the way up in a big long branch. It needs to be reduced. And I'm not sure where yet. I may have to come back to that because I haven't even locked down the front view yet. And again, you want it to look good from all views, but there's always one view that just stands out from the others as a nice front view. There's a branch here. It comes off the trunk and kind of runs alongside the thick part here. And what is attached to it? Just not too much is attached to it. And it's not the greatest branch because it's coming from the inside of the curve here. So I'm going to remove it. Yeah, here I go. Just a flush cut like that. And I'm wondering about this one too. It kind of comes down and goes horizontal. Again, it's kind of close to the inside of a curve. It might be better to keep that clean. I think so. So I'm going to remove it. Here I go. So that's gone. So you can see a little more of the trunk now, what it's doing. So this is my other possible front view, is, you know, using this as the trunk line and then these two as back branches. Again, there's a lot of debris up here. I've got to just got to clean out. It's just all kinds of dead branches sitting up in there. Just clean up some of these bumps on the trunk from roots like that. Now I really got to look at this trunk now. This one, it's a nice flowing line. It's not bad at all. It's probably better than this one because, again, as I said, these trunks come up and then they sweep towards the back, which, you know, you want some foliage in the front. You can see the tree's kind of flat from the front view. There's nothing out this side. It's all towards this side. So that's not so great. And this is a nice trunk line up here. I do really like it. And there's some nice back branches. Those thick branches at the back give the tree lots of depth. So I'm kind of leaning towards this as the front view. It's a nice view. So I'm going to shorten this. There's an upright branch coming off of this one here. I'm just going to shorten it to here. So on this major trunk line here, I'm looking for opportunities for taper. So I'm starting off thick at the trunk and I want it to taper up to wherever my apex is. So when I've got, you know, long sections that are quite straight without much change of taper, it's a good time, or it's a good chance to prune them back, because I do want to keep this tree fairly small and compact. I don't want a big sprawling juniper. So I've got this main trunk line here divides right here. It divides from 1 to 2 at least. I think it's just 1 to 2, yeah. So I'm going to pick the skinnier one, prune off the thicker one. And I can keep some of the thicker one. I can, you know, prune it back to some nice branches here, which I'll do. See how that looks? Here I go. Like that. So that's kind of shortened that leader a lot. This one can also be shortened back. Leave it a little longer to here. Come on, get in there. There we go. Back to there. Now I got to find out where this branch comes from. Yeah, so I got to find out where this branch comes from. It looks like it comes off of the main thick branch. So, yeah. So this thick trunk line, it divides there's a major division here, and then it subdivides. So out here I've got 3 branches coming from the one spot. 1, 2, and 3. I've got one coming up here. So I've got to decide, what am I going to do? This one kind of comes to the back to give it depth. This one comes to the front, which I do need some branching out front, so I'm thinking of maybe taking the middle out, but then I've got quite a wide Y shape here. That may be too wide. I think it better be this one, because I do have this part of the branch coming out front. So I can take out that one and keep these 2 towards the back and keep this Y shape a little tighter. So this one is going to be the one to be removed. So I'm going to come in here and find the base of it. I'll just, yeah, right here. Okay, here I go. Like that. There, rip it off, which is better. Okay, so that helps. Then I can reduce these 2 branches back. So go back to here. And this one back to go back to here. Like that. Shortening that to start. These may have to be reduced more. So now I got one coming up here. So this is that one. It shoots straight up here and then it curves around. I don't mind the upright part. I think it flows fairly nicely with the trunk line until it takes this 90-degree corner here. So there's enough foliage on here that I think it might stay alive if I prune that back, especially if I keep a bit of safety. So I'll prune it back to here, like that. And then as these shoots grow stronger, I can reduce the rest of that. Plan for the future. Okay, now let's look at this one. There's another long shoot here. Where does it come from? Okay, it's coming off one of these sweeping branches and then it crosses right over the top of the design. So I don't like that at all. I want everything kind of fanning out. So that one is going to come off totally. Like that. That one's gone. Our next long branch is this one. It comes up from this one that sweeps. It isn't a very good looking branch because when you look from the front it kind of crosses over the design again. And I would get 3 branches coming from the one spot, the vertical one and the 2 more horizontal. So I think that one's got to go. And go it will. I'm going to remove it. So off it goes. Like that. I'll clean that up a bit too. Like that. That's good. So we're still looking at these long branches. So there's one here. Where does it come from? It comes from this division. So they can just be shortened. They're nice branches. I shorten it back to a downward sweeping one, maybe here. This one can also be shortened here. Okay, let's go back to our front now. So somewhere around here, I think, is our front. So I still have a strong vertical growth coming off here. which comes off those back branches. So that can be reduced. Doesn't need to come up that high. There's a division down here, so I'll keep both parts. So get back to here and back to here. Like that. Nice. Looking better. I've got a long shoot here. Let's have a look at that one. Okay, that comes up from these two at the back. I'm going to prune it off right here. Like that. Now I've got a long one here coming up. I've got a lot of vertical branches in this area. I've got 1, 2, 3, kind of 4, maybe 5. So there's this horizontal branch goes horizontal, and then I've got a whole bunch of vertical ones sticking up. So maybe not so good. This one could make a nice leader for the tree. It would eventually blend in nicely. There's one kind of more horizontal coming off at the same point. I don't think we need that one. It is coming forward. I need foliage coming forward, but I don't need two branches coming from one spot. And I don't want all the weight of the tree over here. I kind of want something balancing it over here. So I got a really thick branch coming up the back here. A lot of vertical stuff here. A lot of decisions to be made here. Yeah, so I got really look at this apex. Do I want this one to be the apex, like the flow line of the trunk, or the one back here? The one back here is very two-dimensional. Everything, all these curves are in one straight plane. So it would be better to have one coming forward and get rid of that one at the back. I've got a, wherever I make, you know, my trunk line, I've got some branches in here that are just sticking straight up. And they're kind of skinny. I want, you know, thick, powerful branches down low. I don't want these ones. So I'm going to take that off. I just don't want that one there. I don't want this little one here. And I don't think I want this little one here. I mean, I could develop that into a branch, but do I want one there? I don't think so. Again, here I've got a major division of thick branches here, and then I got a little thin one at the crotch there. I'm going to take that out. And the branch sticking straight down here, I'm going to get rid of that one. Well, that upright one is definitely more powerful, whereas the one up front is skinnier. So I think this one might have to go. I think I'm going with this one as the apex. Kind of flows up. These ones are just, I don't know. If I got rid of them, would it look too empty? Yeah. They look quite empty over this side. So maybe I've just got to reduce these back. Kind of develop more horizontal branching here. Something like that, maybe. I think so. I think this is the one I developed, the skinny one. So this one's going to come off. Could leave deadwood. I'll leave a stump for now. Now, so if this is my major division here, I got all these little fiddly ones in between. I'm going to get rid of those. All these upright ones. Sticking straight up. So what flows nice in this branch? This comes up. This one's horizontal, so I can get taper if I use this as the leader. So I'm going to remove the thicker part right here. Like that. I'm going to reduce this one even further. I can get some, you know, I don't mind it there as an upright branch. it's just, you know, it's thick all the way up, no taper, no branching much. So if I can reduce it back, I can get something happening that looks much better than just the straight up and curling around here. So I'm going to take it off, I think back to here. Like that. See how that looks? Still too long and straight, sticking up. I've got to reduce it even back further. Maybe to here. Let's remove, there's branches in between these two major divisions. I'm going to get rid of that. Just clean it out a bit. I'm going to shorten this one back to here, like that. And this one, I'll keep it going upright, so I'll shorten it to here. Even that, I'm not sure yet, but there's a vertical one here. Definitely get rid of that one. Okay, I'm thinking of removing this entire end here. Two reasons. One is it blocks your view of the branches, the back branches, and you get a nice flowing trunk line if that's removed. This is too long. It makes the tree too spread out. Yeah, that's got to come off. So off it goes. Big cut. I'll leave a bit of a stump for now. Well, that's gone. Then I'll come in and clean it up. That's looking good. Yeah, that's I like that. That's quite nice. Now you can see that back branch, which I like. I think it's a cool branch. So I don't want this back branch coming up that high, so I've got to reduce it. So I'm going to take it back to here. Here. Maybe further in future. This one's got to be reduced, so I think try it here for now. Place this one back. Keeping everything a little long. One kind of hanging down. There's a spider. Here, I'll take off. Yeah, it's pretty dense in this area here. Take this one back. And I don't think I need this upright one here. So this branch, it's a thick branch, and then I've got this one. I could cut that whole part off. Even keep this one maybe. So I'll do that. I'll take the, even this might be getting too high. We'll take it back to here for now. Maybe reducing it further in the future. Yeah, definitely reducing it further. I don't want much sticking up there. So I'm going to come right back to here. Take right off, so this will be the new leader on that branch. Just a little cleanup in there. Like that. A little long here still. Cut that back. Cut these back, the tips. This leader, I want to cut it back, but I don't, because I want to keep it growing strong to heal that pruning point. So that'll come later on. So for now, I'll leave it long. This one can be cut back to here. This one to here. This one to here. Now I've got a lot of vertical branches coming off this main trunk line here. Not sure I need them. Definitely don't. That one's coming off. And I think that one's coming off too. So at the back, I really like this branch. It's a cool looking branch. Flows nice, comes this way. I'm not so keen on this upright one here. I think that one's got to come off. There's enough going on in this area without that one. Like that. Yeah, that looks better. There's a vertical one coming up here. Don't need that one. That one's gone. And I've got some vertical ones coming off here, which aren't the greatest. I mean, you can't use it as a back branch because it comes up over top of the other branch. It's growing towards the inside of the tree. So I'm going to remove it. It's just not a good location. And then this other one, I don't know. Definitely a bit of a strange branch. It's not the worst in the world, but it's not the best either. I'll just prune it back for now. See if there's anything pointing to the back. There's not much. I already pruned it to a backwards branch. A little shoot down here, maybe that'll develop into a backward, like a back branch here. So I'll take this off a bit more to there. Hopefully that'll still live. Okay. I think I've just got to clean up this one cut in here a bit better. Like that. I think that might do for the pruning for this session. You can kind of see, you know, if this was cut off. We've got a fairly nice silhouette to the tree. It's got nice movement. Goes from thick to thin. It's a good basic structure to develop into the future. Because I reduced the soil line, the original pot is way too big for this tree, so I'm going to try and find one that kind of fits this root mass a little better. I found an old terracotta pot that I think this tree could go into. The root base is a little bigger than this pot, so I'd have to do a bit of reduction, but it's not that root bound in here, so I can comb away some of the soil, and I think I can fit it quite nicely in this pot. I'll try anyway. You know, autumn isn't the worst time to repot. Spring is better, but the tree's about to go dormant soon anyway, so I think it'll be okay. All right, so height-wise, I've got to take some off the bottom. Let's have a look at the bottom of the root base. There's hardly any roots in the bottom at all. You can see it's just soil on the bottom. So I can easily do that. I'll just take off some of the soil at the bottom. Yeah, there's no roots in here at all. No living roots anyway. I think this tree was potted up fairly recently and nothing's really grown in the new soil. Yeah, so there's the amount of roots that were down in that part. Almost nothing. So does that get it about the right height now? Yes, it does. That's pretty good. I can take just a little more off. Like that. And then diameter-wise, I've got to take some off the diameter. So I want to get it a little more central in the pot, so I'll try and take away more soil on this side of the tree. Again, it's not too root bound, this tree, so this shouldn't hurt it one bit. In fact, I'm surprised how few roots there are on this side of the tree. So I'll just kind of make it a round shape now. I think that'll fit in now quite nicely. Let me try it. Maybe a little more reduction, eh? Okay. A little more off. I gotta taper it. That's my problem. Pretty well doing a full repot here, aren't I? Oh, there's so much loose soil here and hardly any roots. This was way over potted. The soil's way too wet. That's fitting in nicely now. Okay, I'll clean up and we'll get it put in the pot. I'll put a drainage screen in the bottom of the pot there. Add a base layer of bonsai soil, just, you know, a little bit on the bottom for good drainage, and then put the tree in. All right, in goes the bonsai soil. Like that. Okay, I'll just do a little bit of root pruning. I'll show you that. I'm just going to trim off some of the long edges. These roots aren't active. There's no white tips. I don't even know if they're alive. I think that's about all I need to do. Just a bit of light trimming. Okay, into the pot it goes now. It's fitting quite nicely. I'm just going to tuck some of these roots in. That. Now let me see what angle I want the tree at. It's looking pretty good like that. So I think that'll be the position. Trimming off some of these surface roots sticking up. Okay. Now I need a little bit of bonsai soil to fill in the rest of the air spaces here. There I go. Adding the soil. So maybe it won't need repotting in spring. Maybe I can wait another year, see if it recovers and grows nice and strong, and then wait for the repot then. Because this certainly isn't root bound. There's lots of soil in there with few roots. Okay, that is looking pretty good. I think that tree is nice and firm in the pot there. Don't think I have any air spaces anymore. I'm going to water the tree now. I'll add a little bit of fertilizer to the rainwater. So just a little bit. That much on the spoon. Mix it in. And now I can water the tree. So here I go. Now this pot has a fairly small drainage hole in the bottom, so I imagine I can fill it up with water before it starts pouring out the bottom. I'm not sure, but there it goes. It's starting to fill up now. So that ensures that every part of the root base gets watered. Just clean the pot off a bit too. And that's what you want in a pot. More water going in than is draining out. That way it fills up with water, saturates every part of the root base, and then drains out. If you have too many drainage holes in the bottom of your pot, it just drains out and you never get water underneath the base of the tree. I'll give it a misting too. Okay, that is good. I find these trays, these plastic trays that go underneath the plastic bonsai pots are fantastic for growing moss. You just put moss in it, give it a water, and the water stays in the tray because there's no drainage holes. And this has been, growing all summer, and it looks really healthy. So
I'm going to add some moss to the tree now, just to make it look real nice. I'll just trim off the excess moss with the scissors here. Here's a rotation of the tree. My work is completed for today. The pruning today was just a beginning for this tree. Its first rough initial styling. Many years from now, it'll get more refined and just keep getting better as it goes towards the future. That's all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.